What's up, people? How you doing? It's your man Rondell Jordan, aka the Black Swan. Welcome to another BlackSwanRadio.com production. I appreciate you tuning in. Hope all is well. It's getting chilly outside. Autumn is here. And the conclusion of this divine year. It's been a spectacular year. Very, very graceful. You know, a lot happened this year, you know, in my life. I was able to take my sons to Egypt. We spent a couple of weeks cruising the Nile River Valley and, you know, observing our history, which was a dream come true for me. You know, of course, I used Airbnb, and my God, I'm so grateful for that app. It's made a lot of spectacular experiences for me possible. So I'm very appreciative for Airbnb and, you know, all the little things that needed to fall in place in order to make these type of things happen. But Egypt was a spectacular event in my life, and I'm still processing that. And a couple weeks before I went to Egypt, I was able to get back to Rio de Janeiro for the first time since the pandemic, since 2019. And Brazil is my favorite place. I took a break from Brazil and focused more on Africa. And then the pandemic kind of shut down and kind of disabled our ability to travel internationally. It also, I was furloughed from my position at the airport as a result. So just kind of shook up some things. I was kind of feeling like my time was coming anyway. It was time to move on. I was planning a trip to Africa, and in order to make that possible, I would have needed to have some time. I needed to have free time. But ultimately, what this podcast is about is 2023. You know, I have some plans. I'm really looking. My heart and my mind is really going towards Bahia, and you know, I want to continue to process. I want to publish a travel guide for Egypt. I'm actually completing a travel guide to Rio de Janeiro right now, and you know, so I have a lot of little projects. I have a book, which is a guide to Genesis and Revelations, and piecing that to history, real world history, which is much of the scriptures is Kemetic history, Nubian history, Cushite history, Canaanite history, which are East African histories, and real world histories that has been, you could say, whitewashed or processed. And it's not a matter of right or wrong, white or black, none of that. It's just a matter of what it is, right? It went through a process of conquest, right? So the scriptures went through the processing of the Greeks and the processing of the Romans and the Hebrews, and you know, not in that order, but then of course into English, and even broken down even between different translations, depending on what translations you read, determines the narrative, because there's a lot of alterations, very subtle alterations that retain meaning, but also a lot of meaning gets lost in translation. So we live in a day and age where we have the internet and Google at our disposal, so we can kind of piece together all of these things in a way where it would have been a tremendous task to be able to do in the past. You would have had to have a book, and it would have been a very difficult thing to present in the past for someone. So this is something that I felt my calling, and I actually take pleasure in doing. I think about every day, and as among many other things, but that is my calling now, right? So my focus right now is broken down to two things. In one word, scholarship. In two words, prophet and the prophets, right? So breaking down the scriptures and studying the prophets and living in that faith and living in that likeness, right? That's one thing we have to offer the world. And the other thing we have to offer the world is prophets, being a profitable servant, as Christ described in his parable in Matthew's 25, right? And, I think it starts at the 18th verse where he's talking about the kingdom of heaven. And there was a man who traveled to a far place, right? And he gave his servants talents, which was a currency, money, being used in that analogy, based off of their abilities. He gave one 5, he gave one 2, and he gave one 1. And to the one he gave 5, I'm getting a little ahead of myself. He left, all right. And to the one he gave 5, he went off and he doubled it, and he made 10. And the one he gave 2, he went out and he doubled his talent. So when the Lord returned, both of these guys, when he returned, they were pleased. The Lord was pleased, right? Because they had doubled. They were profitable servants. And he told them, that they could enter the joy of the Lord. And he told them both that since they were faithful with few things, right, that he was going to make them ruler over greater things, right? They had established good credibility, right? But there was one that he gave 1 to. And when he came to him, that servant said, I knew you to be a cruel master, right? That you take what you did not sow, and you reap what you have not sown, right? Or where you had not scattered seed, And so I just, that servant just went and said, I took what you have given me and then I buried it. So what you have given me is here. And he gave him back the talent that he gave him. And, the Lord or the master in this allegory said to that servant, you wicked, you evil, lazy servant. If you knew that I, behaved in this manner, right? He didn't deny what he was saying, what his accusations were, what he was accused of. He didn't deny that because he was an investor. He came in, he gave him the seeds, he gave him the talents, and then he left and he came back to reap the interest on his investment, return on his investment. So that's the way the Lord's behave. And so they're giving us the key to the kingdom. We can behave this way, be faithful with the small. We take a small amount of seeds and then we invest it. So we put it in the ground, we grow it, and we grow a crop, a cash crop, a produce that we can harvest and then sell and make more profits in return. So this is the whole meaning of the story. So he said to that unprofitable servant, he cussed him out. just to be, he cussed them out. And he said, and he took the one talent that he had given to him, and he gave it to the guy who had doubled 5, the guy with 10. Yeah. And then he said to them that the unprofitable servant would be cast in utter darkness. Cast is a spell. Cast the unprofitable servant into the utter darkness. There will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. So all I know is, we don't want to be on that side. We don't want to be the unprofitable servant. So we want to be faithful over a few things so that we can become rulers over many more things. And so, what we have, we're living in an age where we can practice group economics. We can use Patreon, which is a platform that is designed to help you get paid from subscriptions every month. It's just you have to come up with the reason for people to subscribe. You see what I'm saying? And so what I've done is I've created a business system where it's a duplicable process that everyone can do. Everyone can repeat this process. And so what is the process? The process is, first you need to get set up with Patreon. Right? You need a Patreon page. So to do that, that's the step first. Step 1. Someone must invite you into this group. And then they will give you the link to their sponsors. The person who sponsored them, they're going to give you their link, and you're going to use their sponsor's link to enroll into our investors group. That's as simple. It's $25 a month, right? And what you're doing is you're providing income for someone like you. And they're going to teach you how to get set up and be able to serve 4 people in the same exact way. See, their income is tied to them serving you, your growth. All right? And so you and they will be working together, and your sponsor. So as a group. Now, you're going to have to reciprocate this. Everyone in the group does this. Everyone is invited in the group, and everyone must invite 2 people into the group. And that's it. And you work with those 2 people throughout a 8-week process. Each week you complete one assignment as a group. Each assignment is instructions that leads to setting up one income level each week. Each week that income level doubles. So you're setting up one reoccurring income stream each week. And each week you'll use those proceeds that you receive to create an additional income stream with double the amount of money. Right? So being faithful with the small, we start out with 25. Right? We create a income stream with four subscribers of $25 for you. Right? You're paying someone to get set up and learn how to do that. What do you need? You're going to need a Patreon page, of course. So you're going to, since you're paying someone now, you're a member, you can now copy and paste, right, what they have on their page and franchise the business. Just make it your own, right? You don't have to reinvent from scratch. We just need to reproduce what is already there. All right, and keep it as pure as possible because the next person will be doing the same. All right, it's kind of like Starbucks. It has different owners around the world, but they all look the same. They operate the same. They use the same script, business model. So I have created a business model that we can all use to set our Patreon page up. And so when you become a member, you gain access to be able to franchise that business model. All right, so that's one process. The training process is a service that we provide. So the person that you're paying that $25 a month to is operating as your consultant, your guidance counselor. They're going to be holding you accountable to completing each assignment every week, that you don't fall off, because this is a 2-month commitment. It's a boot camp to get to a $19,500 in a month. And anyone and everyone who completes the equation, the process, receive the same results. So, like I said, you go back to how you get paid, right? You get paid in the same manner of everyone before you. We all have to invite 2 people into the organization and work with those 2 people throughout the 8-week process. So therefore, the 2 clients that you brought in for your sponsor, enrolled to your sponsor, when they get set up in the same way you have with their Patreon page, and they're just going to set up the $25 level, beginner's level, enable themselves to become a consultant. They do this after they've set up their account with Bittrex. Bittrex is a marketplace where we access cryptocurrency. We have 2 cryptocurrencies that we use as a product for an organization. So just like in the days where people would network market lotions or juices or herbal products or prepaid legal. We're living in a day and age of decentralization. Decentralization means to remove the central location and operate in cooperation with each other. And I'm thinking of a term right now that I hope that comes to mind quickly here. But we work together, but we're separate entities. We're interdependent sole proprietors. Okay? So like I said, we're using the same operating system, but we're all sole proprietors. We're individuals. So we're all using Patreon instead of before it would be one central company, right? That was operating, I remember I was part of Momentous, right? That was selling energy and selling cable and all of that kind of stuff, gas, right? So sounded like it made sense to me, right? I'm using my own products. I get my family, we're already using gas. We just get it switched over to this company. And then our network, our group, our family, our friends can make money off of that. And we did, while it lasted. But the point that I'm trying to make with this situation is this is now decentralized. So when a central company, if it falls, it doesn't matter. We can still operate as a group. We just need to use a new company. We would just go straight to use PayPal instead of Patreon. All right. So once you have learned, Patreon makes it simple because it allows you to arrange multiple different subscriptions onto one page, right? So you can have $25 level, $50 level, $100 level, $200 level, $400, $800, and then just simply help your clients be able to afford each one of those levels. So that's why I call them a client. You're working with that person to help them through the level, each level, right? You guys are, and your client is what's bringing you your customers. So that each one of your clients is going to bring you 2 customers, right? And the customers are who you're paying you every month. They're your subscribers. They're your Patreons, right? And so now you need to help. You guys are working as a group of 7 people, right? To work your way up through each level. You're going to be working with the same people throughout each level. So unlike network marketing, where you have to do a lot of different recruiting and all of that different, and that type of stuff. You don't necessarily have to do that here. Here, you just want to focus on 2 individuals, right? And then those 2 individuals reciprocate and repeat the process. So, getting back to Bitrix, Bitrix is the marketplace where we access our products. We only focus on 2 products, right? Which is Crown and Blackcoin. These are 2 second-generation cryptocurrencies, right? Right now, they sell about a penny a piece. All right. And what that means is they are very easy to acquire, a lot of them, I got tongue twisted. It's easy to acquire a lot now for a little bit, right? Because they have depreciated in value because the demand has diminished and the supply has increased. Now, the beautiful aspect of these cryptocurrencies as an investment group, not as an investor individual, but an investment group with a 2x2 exponential growth plan, right? So that means that we're going to continue to bring people into this blockchain 2x2, right? Because each member, right, their guidance counselor is guiding them. The first thing they're going to do is set up an Bitrix account, right? Then they're going to now take 10% of the membership fee. Every counselor does this. You will do this for your 4 customers every month, right? So this is providing a service that you provide every month, and also a product, right? So you're gonna send a product sample like you would send a product, a juice every month. Now, are they supposed to just sell the 2 juices that they have auto shipped to them every month? No. Those are samples, right? They're supposed to sell those 2 plus order more cases, right? So the same thing with cryptocurrency. So we take 10% of the membership fee, right, as the guidance counselors, and we transfer it into Crown and or Blackcoin, and that is going to be determined between you and your group, your preference, because you're only going to be dealing with 4 customers. So each customer you can deal with each other on an intimate basis. You can have customers that rather have just Blackcoin now and just want to build up Blackcoin, or you want to have some that have maybe half and half, or some that want to concentrate in Crown. So you should have a basic relationship, and so there is some flexibility when we have 2, right? If one suddenly just happened to shut down or something like that, we don't have all our eggs in one basket. When there's different fluctuations. It gives us some variety, but we don't want to overwhelm our focus by concentrating our focus in too many directions. So a household is made up of 2, right? Our hands are symmetrical. Our bodies are symmetrical. So we want to have a balanced approach. So we have a Blackcoin and a Crown. And now, once people are introduced into this program and they learn more and more about cryptocurrencies, yeah, absolutely, you're free in your own discretion to explore other and diversify your portfolio as you wish, right? But as a group, we concentrate on Blackcoin and Crown, and those are our products, right? So, with that said, we have a service that we are providing. So we're creating an industry of guidance counselors, right? Which is something that we definitely need, right? These are people that kind of keep you focused on your task and your goals, and guiding you through the 8-week process, helping you setting up 8 income levels with Patreon, totaling over $19,000 each. Okay. The only thing you need is to bring $25, right? You need 2 weeks of commitment, and you need 2 partners. That's all we need you to bring. Really, is just the commitment, $25, and 2 partners, the willingness to recruit 2 people within 7 days, right? And those 2 people you'll be working with, kind of like an amazing race. So you want to pick them like you picking your spade partners. You don't want to pick someone who's going to flake out on you, dip on you. And a lot of times you can, these are not the people who you may expect to be in your corner. But the most important thing is being able to identify who are your assets in your life and who are your liabilities. And it's okay. You respect, people who, for what they are, but you want to be able to identify your assets so that you know how to be able to use your assets accordingly. And that means you want to create a group economic activity in which both of you guys get to prosper in an equal way, right? So they just simply do the same thing you're doing. They're going to get the same results. The only thing is you're going to be one step ahead of the game. That's it. So this could be a perfect stranger, or it could be a friend, a close friend. It'd be better if it's a close friend. It could be a couple, a husband and wife, or a boyfriend and girlfriend. I don't know. I don't really know, but every person will have to be able to identify and work with their sponsor and work with their counselor to identify who their assets are. So this is really what the summary of what this is all about. I provide proof. I want to do this full time. So I'm setting up Tuesdays and Thursdays between 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. In 1 hour, of course, I'm making myself available to be able to host or to do training through that time period. So I'll be doing trainings Tuesdays and Thursdays between 11 and 3. You can schedule a personal consultation, or between 3 and 4, I will be doing a group training, all right, for Patreon members. All right. And so in order to make that happen, once you become a Patreon, you'll get a group link to our Facebook group. All right. And we also have a group on WhatsApp. And I will send you the link to our chat room. And we'll be doing a video conference where we'll be just doing a Q&A, basically taking any type of questions you may have. And I wanted people to have a deep understanding of how this works, so it's just like second nature. So if you're interested in what you are hearing, please get in contact with me. You can send me a message in social media, right? A messenger, pretty much inbox me anywhere. My site is blackswanradio.com. And all throughout my site, there's contact information, or you can just become a Patreon. My email is blackswanradio.com@gmail.com. You can send a message there. So there's many ways to get in contact with me. So until next time, I appreciate you listening, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Until next time, keep the faith. All right? Keep the faith, man. Peace.